Who is this individual that is called Patrick, for whom I am named? Who is he? Why is it that on the day that I was baptized, they could not allow me to use my local name? Why? Why is it that when we are referring to ourselves, we refer to ourselves as Anglophone, as Francophone, as Lusophone? And right now we are even always in the business of referring to ourselves as other phones. Soon we will be Sinophone. This is what they told us, that our God was not God. They came with a God, and today when you go into many households of those who claim to be Christians or those who are Christians, you find the image of an actor called Geoffrey Hunter being received as the image of Jesus Christ. But history teaches us that they did not. It is Ghana's Kwame Nkrumah who writes, and it is not only the Europeans who started that journey of disruption and exploitation. The Arabs did it, and we don't talk about it as loudly as we should. They came and they took us into slavery, and they castrated our men, so that when you don't see dark-skinned people in the numbers that we should in the Arab world, is because they castrated men. And we must never forget that. But what we must never forget is that at all times we resisted. Those who say we never resisted are mistaken. We did. And what is this thing called development? I remember not so long ago with a great Tanzanian founding father, Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, being interviewed about development, and he said, from where we sit, development is not confined to the size of what the Europeans call the gross domestic product, GDP. That to us is not development, he said. Development cannot, in our estimation, be per capita income. That is not development. Development must not be restricted to the number of skyscrapers that we have. No, that is not development. Development cannot be understood to mean that we must go to the moon. That is not development. Development, from what we see and what we call development, is to have an environment where there is a spiritual, social, political, and economic contentment. So let the Americans go to the moon, but we want water in our households. That in order to run a government, in order to run a judiciary, you must run it in the manner that the British taught us to do, complete with the manner in which they dressed. In order to run a parliament, we must run a parliament like they did, and our speaker must still wear some woolen white thing, which people stopped wearing many years ago, but we still wear. And even when we run our affairs, we must do it in the manner that they did. We are mimicking them. And when we think we have developed, indeed we are not. That is what colonization did to us. So today, when we are gathered here to remember Omukama Kabarega, we are asking ourselves, is there not something in our tradition that we could use to change the continent of Africa? And why is that argument legitimate and necessary?